Leo, something unexpected is waiting for you, but you won't find it unless you leave your house. That's the core of today's message. If you've landed on this video, it's not by accident. There's something trying to reach you, and it may already be inside your home. But you won't see it unless you shift physically, energetically, or spiritually. Welcome to Eternal Mindfulness. If you carry the fire of Leo in your chart, or if Leo energy resonates with your soul, this message is here for you, and the timing couldn't be more precise. Sometimes the universe doesn't shout. It whispers. And if you're here, you're one of the few who's ready to listen. Let me ask you something real. Have you felt like there's something just out of reach lately? A thought you can't shake? A strange pull toward clearing a room, looking through old papers, stepping outside without knowing why? I've been there. And I've seen what happens when people actually follow that inner nudge. What starts as just a feeling often turns into a life-changing moment. That's what today is about. There's a shift happening around you, and your home, your sacred space, holds a part of that shift. Maybe something spiritual has been dormant in the corner of your room. Maybe an unopened letter holds a message your heart has been aching to hear. Maybe you simply need to clear the space, move your body, and make room for energy to flow in. Whatever it is, the moment you get up and shift even a little lies the moment the miracle begins to find you. Spiritually speaking, this isn't just clutter clearing. This is alignment. This is activation. And you don't have to do it perfectly, you just have to do it intentionally. You see, miracles don't always show up in grand explosions of light. Sometimes, they appear in the most ordinary places: a drawer, a hallway, a journal you haven't opened in years. But you have to create the opening. You have to leave the comfort zone, both physically and energetically. Leo, you're ruled by the sun, the life force itself. You're meant to shine, but even stars need space to burn brighter. Today, we'll explore how that space is being created for you now. But first, let me say this from the heart: thank you. Thank you for showing up. For being curious. For choosing this moment of reflection. Every time you watch, like, comment, or subscribe, you're not just supporting Eternal Mindfulness, you're becoming part of a collective energy shift. A soul family. And your presence makes that possible. So here's my invitation to you. If anything in these first few minutes is already stirring something inside you, take a breath and write it down. Let me know in the comments. What do you feel is waiting for you right now? Do you sense that you need to step outside or step deeper within? I read every word. And your voice matters. Stick with me until the end of this message, because what the universe is preparing to reveal today is not only extraordinary, it's deeply personal. And I promise you, you'll see exactly why you were guided here right now. Let's begin. Leo, let me tell you something that might sound simple but holds deep truths sometimes. Everything changes the moment you change where you're standing. Under the influence of the sun forming a trine with Uranus, we're not just dealing with astrology. We're standing at the edge of an energetic breakthrough. And if you've been feeling a strange push to rearrange something, clear a corner, or open the window just to feel air move again, you're not imagining it. That's the shift calling your name. In the cards, the Tower, the Star, and the Knight of Wands came together like a storm that clears the sky. This combination isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you. The Tower doesn't fall to hurt, it collapses to reveal. The Star appears right after, bringing the promise of renewal. And the knight? He's not waiting. He moves with purpose, following the spark inside. That's the energy around you right now. For you, Leo, this may show up inside your own home literally. Maybe there's something in your living space that's been hiding in plain sight, a forgotten item, a journal entry, a gift from someone that suddenly holds new meaning. Or maybe, it's not about the object at all but the emotion it triggers. A feeling that rises while you're vacuuming the floor or folding a blanket you haven't used in years. That's no accident. Energy is memory. And your home remembers. This isn't about being superstitious, it's about being conscious. Everything in your home carries frequency. The law of attraction doesn't just respond to your words or your thoughts. It responds to the field you create around you. When you shift the energy of your physical space, be moving, cleaning, decluttering, or simply opening a window, you're signaling to the universe that you're making space. That you're not just open to change. You're ready for it. And the truth is, sometimes we don't see the blessing because the room is too crowded with what no longer serves us. You don't need to buy crystals or burn sage to make this shift, though you can if that's your way. Sometimes, the most spiritual act is to sweep the floor with full attention. Or to throw away the broken thing you've kept out of guilt. Or to move your favorite chair to a spot where the light hits your skin in the morning. These aren't aesthetic choices. They're alignment decisions. The energy you invite into your life starts with the space you live in. And the space you live in reflects how deeply you believe you deserve clarity, peace, and renewal. Now I want you to pause and ask yourself something real. When was the last time you felt fully present in your home, not just physically there, but emotionally rooted? When was the last time your space felt like a mirror for who you are now, not who you were 3 years ago? If your honest answer is, I'm not sure, that's okay. That awareness is the beginning. There's a reason you're being nudged to step outside, or to move a piece of furniture, or to notice the old letter peeking out from behind a book. It's all part of a larger message. You're being invited to shift the grid, to shift your own energy field, and in doing so, you'll uncover something that may have been waiting all along. And here's something powerful to hold on to. You don't have to find everything today. You just have to say yes to seeing it. Let this moment be a seed. A small, sacred act of faith. Like those quiet moments when we sit in silence and say, God, show me what I need to release. You don't need all the answers. You just need the willingness to open the window and let something new blow in. If something in this message speaks to you, leave a comment and tell me. What's one thing you feel called to shift today? Is there something in your home that might be holding a memory you need to return to or let go of? Your words matter. They create ripples in this shared field of intention. And your awareness? That's the first miracle. When the sun enters the 4th house in your chart, it's like someone turning on a light in a room you haven't entered in years. Things come into focus, things you thought you had forgotten, outgrown, or buried under the business of surviving. But here's the thing. The 4th house isn't just about family or the house you live in. It's about the emotional house. The part of you that holds memories, attachment, and yes, unfinished stories. Right now, Leo, something from your past is circling back. But this isn't some dramatic rerun. It's more like a quiet knock on the door from someone or something you once loved, lost, or let go too soon. The appearance of the 6 of Cups, the Empress, and the world in your reading isn't random. That's a sacred triad of memory, nurturing, and completion. It tells me that what's returning isn't here to haunt you, it's here to heal you. And I know, healing is a word that gets thrown around a lot. But real healing, the kind that actually shifts your nervous system and lets you exhale after years of holding it in, that kind only happens when you're ready. When you've lived enough life to see the past not as a wound, but as a witness to how far you've come. And I sense that's where you are now. This part of your journey invites a deep question. Are you willing to face what once hurt, knowing that now you're not the same person who was hurt? That memory, that connection, that dream you gave up on, it's not just coming back for nostalgia's sake. It's returning with new context. It wants to show you how much you've grown. That person may appear in your life again. Or you might dream of them, think of them out of the blue. You might find an old message, a song, a scent that brings everything flooding back. Don't push it away. Let it surface. Let it speak. Because the Empress energy is not chaotic. She is the mother of grace. The nurturer of timing. She only shows up when something is ready to be birthed or reborn. And paired with the World card, this tells me you're being offered a full circle momentum ending that brings wholeness, not just closure. You have a choice now. You can re-enter the story from a higher perspective. You can forgive without losing your boundaries. You can remember without reliving the pain. You can even start something new with someone familiar or simply with a part of yourself you left behind because life got too heavy. One of the hardest things to admit is that we miss what we once wanted even if it wasn't right for us at the time. But growth doesn't mean pretending you never cared. It means you've become the kind of person who knows how to care differently now. With wisdom. With self-respect. With clarity. So take a moment today and check in with your heart. Ask yourself honestly, without judgment, am I ready to meet this part of my story again with eyes wide open and a softer grip? And if the answer is yes, or even maybe write it down. Say it out loud. Create that energetic opening. I believe that what returns now isn't a test. It's an invitation. Not to repeat the past but to redeem it. And you get to choose how the story ends this time. If this message touches something in you, I encourage you to comment and share. What part of your past has been knocking at your door lately? What would it look like to welcome it back, not in fear, but in peace? Because when we speak these things out loud, we give them space to change. And that, dear Leo, is where the healing really begins. Leo, now that you've been reminded of your emotional roots and the story's trying to find closure, it's time to step into another truth. Abundance follows movement. Not the kind of busy energy that drains you, but aligned, intentional movement, the kind that tells the universe, I'm ready. In your current chart, Saturn's retrograde motion is like a wise old teacher sitting across from you asking, have you claimed the true value of who you are yet? If you've been underestimating yourself, playing small, waiting for permission, this is the moment where the conversation shifts. The universe won't force your hand, but it will keep showing you the same lessons until you're willing to believe that your gifts deserve to be seen and paid. The cards that came forward here are not just supportive, they're unmistakably directive. Justice, the Three of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles, these aren't vague signs. They're a blueprint. Justice reminds you that what you've poured in deserves a return. The Three of Pentacles is the invitation to collaborate, to show your work, to let others see what you're building. And the king? He's the embodiment of mature wealth. Not flash. Not ego. Just quiet confidence in knowing what you bring to the table. But none of this unlocks if you stay where you've always been physically or energetically. You can't manifest new results from the same old patterns. That's why it's time to move mentally, emotionally, literally. And not in chaos. In clarity. The Chariot, Ace of Wands, and the Sun came in like a spiritual push. Drive your own direction, say yes to what's calling, and act as if you already believe in the outcome. The Chariot tells you it's your hands on the wheel now. The Ace of Wands? That's a new opportunity blazing in your field, but it needs a response. And the Sun? That's confirmation. That the light will find you when you start walking toward it. I want to be real with you here sometimes. Spiritual messages can feel abstract. So let me bring this into the physical. If you're serious about opening the door to financial blessings, start by clearing physical space. Go to your closet. Get rid of the things you no longer wear or that no longer feel like the version of you that's growing. That's more than decluttering, it's energetic alignment. Then write down 3 financial intentions. Not wishes, decisions. Maybe it's paying off something. Maybe it's asking for a raise. Maybe it's making space for a new opportunity that matches your worth. But speak them out loud, and write them with conviction. And lastly, go outside. Get out of the house. Open a window. Send that message you've been delaying. Reply to that email you've been avoiding. Not because it's magic, but because movement begets clarity. And clarity magnetizes the very people and pathways you've been praying for. Your next chapter isn't going to arrive at your doorstep like a package. You have to meet it halfway. And trust me, it is so much closer than you think. So, Leo, ask yourself this, and be honest. If I already knew success was coming, how would I show up today? Then, go do exactly that. If this resonates with you, I'd love to hear it. Leave a comment and tell me that's the one step you're committing to right now. Let's turn energy into momentum together. Sometimes love doesn't knock, it lingers. Quietly. Like a song you haven't heard in years suddenly playing through a stranger's window. And in this moment, Leo, something in your energy is shifting to let that music in again. You might not have noticed it yet. It's subtle. A softening in your chest. A memory rising when you least expect it. The Queen of Cups, the Ace of Cups, and the Lovers are not just romantic cards. They're deeply emotional frequencies that speak to readiness, not the kind where you force something to happen, but the kind where your heart simply whispers, maybe it's time. You've been protecting that heart of yours, haven't you? Maybe because you had to. Maybe because life asked you to hold so much on your own. But the truth is, even a lion gets tired of standing guard. And even the strongest hearts long for softness. If you're single, there's someone thinking about you right now. Not in a fleeting way, but with genuine presence. And it's not about chasing or waiting. It's about energy. Sometimes, the smallest shift, getting out of the house, walking a new street, even rearranging your space, can align you with a glance that changes everything. That person may already be near. But your energy has to say, I'm available, even before you speak a word. If you're in a relationship, this may be a moment of quiet turbulence. A pause. A recalibration. That's not something to fear, it's something to work with. Because real love isn't static. It breathes. It grows. It stumbles and finds its rhythm again. The Lover's card here invites reconnection, but only if both hearts are willing to tune in. And often, that starts not with conversation, but with stillness. With presence. There's a reason your environment matters so much right now. Your bedroom, your bed, the objects you keep around your space, they all tell a story. If you've felt disconnected in love, ask yourself, does my space reflect the kind of connection I desire? Color therapy has long shown us that pink pastel and soft greens help regulate emotional energy. They calm the nervous system, open the heart chakra, and subtly remind the body it's safe to receive love. Try it. Even one small chahaya blanket, a pillowcase, a photo move can help shift the energy from guarded to open. And if the words are heavy in your chest, write a letter you'll never send. Let it all out. Release the weight you've been carrying so long it started to feel like yours to bear. Healing doesn't always come from others. Sometimes it comes from holding space for yourself. Let your heart catch up to the life you've been building. And give yourself permission to want more, not out of lack, but out of fullness. Leo, your love story isn't over. In fact, the page is turning right now. But what you write next depends on what you're willing to feel today. The Ace of Cups is an open hand. A new offering. But you can't hold it if your hands are full of old disappointments. So take a breath. Then take a step. Open a window. Turn on a song that once meant something. Stand in the mirror and ask your heart what it needs, not what it fears. And if you feel called, I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing your heart is whispering right now? Leave a comment and share it. You never know who else might be carrying the same prayer. And sometimes, speaking it aloud is the beginning of letting love find its way back. There's a moment in every transformation when silence becomes uncomfortable, when the waiting no longer feels safe, but stifling. If you've been in that in-between space lately, Leo, this is the moment the ground begins to move beneath your feet. The Hermit, the Six of Swords, and the Judgment card don't just speak of introspection or clarity. Together, they create a bridge, one that leads out of reflection and into motion. They whisper, "You've gathered your light. Now carry it forward." You've been through your quiet phase. You've sat with the questions. Maybe even the heartbreaks. And now, the message is simple but urgent. You're not meant to stay in that space forever. The number 5, which dominates the frequency of this month, is the vibration of change, divine disruption, spiritual course correction. And while it may feel subtle at first, like a breeze brushing your shoulder or the nudge to open that drawer you haven't touched in months, it's real. This kind of energy doesn't wait. It moves. And so must you. There is sacred power in the mundane when it's done with intention. Clearing space under your bed, sorting through forgotten corners of your kitchen cabinets, or opening the back of an old closet isn't just a physical act. It's an energetic reset. What we hide, we hold. And what we hold too long, we start to carry. That's why the invitation now is so clear. Release what's stagnant, and new momentum will find you. It's not about chasing miracles. It's about making space for them. Think of the energy in your home as a mirror of your inner world. If parts of your physical environment are blocked, cluttered, or holding on to old versions of you, those vibrations will subtly echo through your decisions, your moods, your thoughts. By clearing space, You're signaling not just to the universe, but to yourself. I'm ready. I'm choosing to participate in my own breakthrough. That's where the Ace of Wands comes in bold, electric, undeniable. It represents a flame being lit, not outside you, but within. But here's the catch. Fire can only spread if it has oxygen. If it's smothered by old routines, fear, or avoidance, it flickers out. This card doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for movement, action. Even one small step toward the life you've secretly been praying for. So I want to ask you gently but firmly, what's the one thing you know you've been avoiding? What's the drawer you won't open? The conversation you're afraid to have? The creative idea that keeps tapping on your shoulder while you convince yourself you're not ready? Because readiness is a decision, not a feeling. You don't need a 10-step plan. You need a single, sincere act. And that could be as simple as wiping the dust off a window, tossing out what no longer fits, lighting a candle and saying, I release what no longer reflects me. These rituals are not silly. They're deeply symbolic. They are the way your soul says, I'm stepping out of hiding now. Leo, you were not built to live a small, tucked away life. You were made to move, to shine, to step outside your own door and greet the world with that lion-hearted presence only you can bring. If this message stirred something in you, comment below and share the one space physical or emotional you're ready to clear. I promise you, that one shift can open the door you've been waiting to walk through. And what's behind it might just change everything. Leo, no one can walk through the open door of destiny in your place. No one can receive the gift that's waiting inside your home or just beyond the door you've been afraid to open. This journey is yours. And the beautiful truth is, you've always had the key. What you choose to do with it now. That's where the story begins to shift. You see, freedom isn't found in circumstances, it's born in your decisions. And luck? It doesn't live far away in the future. It's quietly wrapped inside the single step you dare to take today. The moment you say yes to your own growth, the universe responds not with noise, but with alignment. That's why your presence here is no accident. You're not watching this by mistake. Something within you is ready. And if you've felt the stirring, the restlessness, the pull towards something more, it's because something more is already seeking you, too. This entire reading has been a mirror, a reflection, a nudge. And now, the question isn't just, what do you want? It's, what are you willing to allow? Are you ready to step out, even if you don't see the full path yet? Are you ready to release what no longer fits, even if it once gave you comfort? Are you ready to stop waiting for the perfect moment and start creating it with the energy you bring? Take a breath. Feel your heart. You already know what wants to change. Maybe it's a room that needs clearing. Maybe it's a story that needs rewriting. Maybe it's just you, finally saying out loud, I'm ready to live differently now. So let me ask you this. What do you feel is waiting for you inside your home right now? What unopened space, physical or emotional, holds the key to your next chapter? Are you willing to step outside and let the light find you? If this message moves something inside you, I invite you to comment below. Tell me what spoke to you. Share what you're ready to release or receive. That simple act of naming it is part of the transformation. And don't forget to like this video, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to Eternal Mindfulness so you never miss a message your soul might need. Because what's coming next will take you even deeper and you'll want to be here when it arrives. I believe you're ready. I believe your soul has already said yes. And I know what's waiting for you is closer than you think. Let's meet it together.